Hello, I'm Paul Ritchie. I'm here with Veronica Coptis from Coalfield, Pennsylvania. She's the director there, and she's been working with a group to stem the tide of money and politics in Pennsylvania. So I thought this would be my first interview at the Netroots Nation conference. So hello, Veronica.
Yeah, I'm Veronica. I'm our director with the Center for Coalfield Justice, and we work in two southwestern counties in Pennsylvania that are both bordered by West Virginia.
Okay, now that's Greene County?
Yeah, Greene and Washington counties. I'm a resident of Greene County, and our office is headquartered in Washington County.
Okay, so in your presentation, we learned a lot about Jeff Yass. I admit I'd never heard of him either. So he works kind of like the Koch brothers do on the national stage in Pennsylvania politics.
Yeah, I mean, I will say our partners at the Payback Table have definitely been doing much more research on Jeffrey Yaz, but he has been moving massive amounts of money into both Democratic and Republican candidates, trying to control school boards so that they return investment back into him, into private schools, and has been, working to keep, the 1% controlling our political system.
Okay, so, I know sometimes he also supports Democrats. So, one question I noticed, like Josh Shapiro, he's advocating a cut in the corporate income tax, like from 9.9% to 4%.
Yeah, I am not the right person to do interviews around these questions. I could probably talk to you about the fossil fuel industry, their impacts, what they're doing. We also don't do any electoral work, so we will come at this issue from a bipartisan and where both candidates are standing.
Okay, well, I know from the county I live in, Cambria County is, for a long time we had a lot of acid mine drainage in our rivers and, which killed all the fish. Now they've done some reclamation work, which finally allows us to have fish in the water and allows people to go coal tubing in the local rivers. So are you involved in any of that work?
Yeah, so Washington and Greene counties are home to some of the most extensive extractive industries in Pennsylvania. We have the largest underground coal mine in the country that is in southwestern Pennsylvania, and we have two of the heaviest fracked counties in the state, and that doesn't just come with extraction. That comes with exploitation of our labor, exploitation of our land, total control of our economy and our democracy. And so what we're doing is working to highlight how the CEOs of these companies are driving money through PACs, through direct contributions to legislators, and making it so it's a pay-to-play, game in Pennsylvania, and that is not fair. And at one point, Pennsylvania was driven by the working class. The unions came up in our region as well, too, and we want to go back to the day where our residents don't just accept the status quo, but demand what they deserve better, They deserve a right to clean air. They deserve a democracy that works. They deserve an economy that doesn't pick winners and losers.
Yes, okay, basically encouraging more participation. So yes, that was the big theme. I guess Greene and Washington counties. I guess have there been a lot of studies in the health effects of the coal industry?
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of organizing right now with accountability to oil and gas operators and the Department of Health and the DEP, because we have growing rates in regions of our two counties with increased childhood cancer, which is a very serious thing to consider. I'm a mother of two kids. Yale just came out with a study yesterday that said if you have children and you live within 1.5 miles of a gas well, you have a significant more chance of your children to develop some type of leukemia style cancer. And that's, where I live, 500 feet from drilling. And so we're taking this, not just to the energy companies, but to the banks that are moving money into these energy companies companies to invest in false solutions for climate like hydrogen or carbon sequestration that's only going to commit us to a long-term feedstock of oil and gas extraction to operate those facilities. And we're saying that's not okay, right? Do you want to be a bank shareholder that moves money and is okay with increased childhood cancer rates in rural communities?
Okay. I mean, I was in a session this morning where, she was like, we had a speaker, I don't know if you were there, a speaker who was talking about, how to pitch news stories to media outlets. And, I commented that one of the big obstacles to getting stories in the media is, a lot of media organizations are reluctant to post stories that criticize their advertisers. And someone gave us, someone mentioned that, they were trying to pitch stories to media outlets in West Virginia. But of course, they said that they had, obviously that they said that they were not unable to run anything about Joe Manchin and the coal industry.
I mean, we definitely run into that in our communities, and we also recognize that our small town papers are trying to do their best, struggling on tight budgets, right? Also not getting the investment they need to ensure that free, good quality news is accessible to rural communities. And one of the ways we combat that is we do pitch to independent consultants, freelance journalists, bigger newspapers, right? Our organization has gotten coverage from the New Yorker to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette to the NPR, and we can get our stories told that way, and then we bring that resource to our people, right? We knock on our folks' doors, we make sure they hear that it's coming, and we just share stories among one another. In particular in Appalachia, that's in our culture, right? We'll chill on the front porch, we'll talk about what's happening, and we'll talk about what we can do to organize around it too.
I mean, of course, a lot of local media news outlets, they're not locally owned. That's another obstacle. They're loath to, challenge, they're loath to, they have to follow what their bosses tell them from corporate headquarters.
And I just think we're in a day and age where, 15 years ago, this would have been a more significant impact, particularly in rural areas. But now we have digital tools at our hands to push the narrative that is coming directly from our people. And peer-to-peer learning is having way more influence on how people are acting and moving in voting, and taking action than what they read in a newspaper.
Okay, well, I mean, that's part of the point of organizations like Allegheny Independent Media. I saw another organization called Westmoreland County. Where I'm sure there may be on one hood. So
yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Yes, that was Thank you for your time. And I mean, I did look at some of the. You're familiar with the website Frack Tracker?
Yeah, we use Track Tracker and the data they're putting out very frequently to do education in our communities, put maps of what is the overall impact. They're one of our core partners.
Okay. I mean, I did notice a much larger concentration of fracking fracking wells outside of Cambria County, but a lot of them in the southwest corner of the county.
Yeah, they're so the gas extraction in Pennsylvania is either wet gas or dry gas, and in the northeastern corner of the state, you're mostly getting dry gas. So the only thing coming up is methane, and obviously the natural gas industry has flooded the market for methane use.
Yeah.
In southwestern and western PA, they're getting what's called wet gas, and with the wet gas, what's coming up from the drill head is not just methane, it's ethane, butane, and propane. Yeah. And so, the narrative is, right, we're powering the nation and natural gas will heat your home. But really what the natural gas industry is interested in is the feedstock for single-use plastic that just continues to pollute our communities without recycling. And so there's more market and more profit in the byproducts of what's coming out of the hole than the actual methane.
Okay. Well, certainly. Certainly there are measures of air quality which have been poor also. So I use county health rankings a lot to try to ferret out exactly what the impacts are. Yep. So, Okay, well, thank you, and well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Okay, well,